Good morning students and welcome to first video lecture for class 11th chemistry, and the first topic which I am taking is of physical chemistry chapter number 1, some basic concepts of chemistry. And as per the scope of syllabus for 2020-21, the first topic is laws of chemical combination. In the laws of chemical combination, the first law is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass, which you have studied in lower classes also. What do this law says is, during any physical or chemical change, the total mass of the products obtained is always equal to the total mass of reactants taken at the beginning of the change. The other definition is, during any physical or chemical change, the matter is neither created nor destroyed. However, it may change from one form to the another. Let us take the example of calcium carbonate. Okay, so when the calcium carbonate is strongly heated, it decomposes to give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So if we calculate the mass of calcium carbonate, it comes 40 plus 12 plus 16 multiplied by 3 is equal to 100 gram. Calcium oxide, the total comes is 56 gram, and carbon dioxide come 44 gram. So if I total it out, it again come 100 gram. So during any physical or chemical change, the matter is neither created nor destroyed. It can be transferred from one form to the another. Then second law is law of constant composition. Now what do this law say is, a chemical compound, no matter from which source it is obtained, always contains the same elements combined together in the same definite proportion by mass. Let us take an example of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide can be obtained from the various sources, like it can be obtained by burning carbon in oxygen, will get C plus O2 will give CO2. By heating calcium carbonate, CaCO3, on heating will give calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Or by heating sodium bicarbonate, will get Na2CO3 plus CO2 plus H2O. So we can get carbon dioxide by two or more various sources. The carbon dioxide obtained by any of this method contain only two elements. Here also in the first, second, third, carbon dioxide contains two elements, that is carbon and oxygen. Here also carbon and oxygen. Here also carbon and oxygen. Combined together in the ratio 3:8, because 3:8 by mass. Carbon dioxide is how much? Carbon is 12:16 multiplied by 2. 16 multiplied by 2, it is 32. So 4 3s are 12 and 4 8s are 32. So it is coming 3:8. Here also in this carbon dioxide, the ratio of carbon and oxygen will be 3:8, and here it again come 3:8. Now come back to the definition. Now what do this law of constant composition say? A chemical compound, no matter from which source it is obtained. Like this carbon dioxide in the first case is obtained by burning carbon in the oxygen. In the second case, it is obtained by heating of the calcium carbonate. In a third case, it is obtained by heating of the sodium bicarbonate. So the definition says that a chemical compound, no matter from which source it is obtained, always contains the same elements, and they are combined together in a same definite proportion by mass. Here also there are only two elements, carbon oxygen, and the ratio comes how much? 3:8. So this is the second law, that is law of constant composition. Now we'll go for third law. The third law is law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportions. Now what do these laws says? when two elements combine to form two or more compounds, then the different masses of one element which combine with the fixed mass of the other element bear a simple whole number ratio with one another. Now, for this, let us take an example that nitrogen and oxygen combine to form 5 compounds. That is nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen trioxide, N2O3, nitrogen dioxide, N2O4, and nitrogen pentoxide, N2O5. Now in this compound, the ratio of N and O is how much? Let us find. O is 14, so 28 ratio 16. Because here N is 2, here it will be how much? 14 ratio 16. Here 28 ratio 48. Here it will be 14 ratio 32. And here it will be 28 ratio 80. Now, so we are going to fix one of the mass of nitrogen. So here we can multiply this by 2. So we'll get the only those are not in 28. It's okay. 28 ratio 16 is okay. 28 ratio 16 is okay. Here we can multiply it by 2. It comes 28 ratio 32. It is again 28 ratio 48. It comes 28 ratio 64. 32 multiplied by 2, and it's coming here 28 ratio 80. So here 1 is the fixed. Thus the ratio of the masses of oxygen, this ratio 16, 32, 48, 64, 82, 80. Thus the ratio of masses of the oxygen which combine with the fixed mass, that is 28 parts of nitrogen, are 16 ratio 32, 16, this is 16 ratio 32 ratio 48 ratio 64 ratio 80, and they are simple whole number ratio of 1 ratio 2 ratio 3 ratio 4 ratio 5. So now listen to the definition carefully, that when two elements, here these two elements are nitrogen and oxygen, when two elements combine to form two or more compounds, here we got 1 2 3 4 5 compounds, then the different mass of one element, so the different masses of oxygen here, so the different mass of one element which combine with a fixed mass, so here we had made nitrogen to be fixed, it bear a simple whole number ratio with one another. Fourth law is law of reciprocal proportion. Now what this law says is, when two elements combine separately with a definite mass of a third element, then the ratio of their masses in which they do so is either the same or some whole number multiple of the ratio in which they combine with each other. This law can be understood easily with the help of this example. Let us consider three elements: hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water, whereas sulfur combines with it. Sulfur combines with it to form sulfur dioxide. Hydrogen and sulfur can also combine together to form hydrogen sulfide. The formation of this compound is shown in this figure. In water, H2O, the ratio of mass of hydrogen and oxygen is 2 ratio 16. In sulfur dioxide, the ratio of masses of sulfur and oxygen is 32 ratio 32, because O is 16, O multiplied by 2 is 32. Therefore, the ratio of masses of hydrogen and sulfur, the ratio of the masses of hydrogen and sulfur which combines with a fixed mass of oxygen, say 32 parts. So here if we are making the oxygen to be fixed, here oxygen is 32, here it is 16, multiplied by 2, it becomes 4 ratio 32. So now here oxygen is fixed in both this compound. Therefore, the ratio of masses of hydrogen and sulfur which combines with a fixed mass of oxygen, say 32 parts, will be, it is 4:32, 1:8. We got here 1:8. Now, when hydrogen and sulfur combine together, they form hydrogen sulfide, in which the ratio is 2:32. The ratio of hydrogen and sulfur in hydrogen sulfide is 2:32, that is 1:16. 1:16. So this two ratio, the ratio, first ratio 1:8 and 1:16, these two ratio are related to each other, 1:8 to the 1:16 or 2:1. That is, they are whole number multiple of each other. Thus, the ratio of masses of hydrogen and sulfur which combines with a fixed mass of oxygen is a whole number multiple of the ratio in which hydrogen and sulfur combine together. Then comes our fifth law, that is Gay-Lussac law, which we have studied in class 10th, Gay-Lussac law of combining volumes. What do this law state is that when two or more gases combine or react with one another, their volumes bear simple whole number ratio with one another and to the volume of the product if they are also gases, provided all the volumes are measured under the identical condition of temperature and pressure. Let us example, H2 plus Cl2 will give you 2HCl. So one volume of hydrogen will combine with one volume of chlorine to give two volume of HCl, and the ratio comes 1:1:2. So this is the ratio of reactant with each other and also with the product, that is HCl, 1:1:2, provided that these three gases are measured under the identical condition of temperature and pressure. So here we have completed all the 5 laws, that is laws of chemical combination. Now we'll do the numericals based on the above laws, and I will be helping you for doing the unsolved numericals. 1.16 unsolved numerical. The questions goes like this. 1.5 gram of ethane. Ethane is C2H6. 1.5 gram is given to you. 1.5 gram of ethane on complete combustions gave 4.4 gram. 4.4 gram of carbon dioxide and 2.7 gram of water. Show that this result are in accordance of law of conservation of mass. So let us first start writing the equation. C2H6 plus O2 will give you CO2. CO2 plus H2O will balance it. 2, 4 and here is 6. So now our equation is balanced. And in the question it is given you, that is 1.5 gram of ethane is given. This is 1.5 gram. And they have asked that if 60 gram of ethane, 60 gram of ethane reacts with, now if we solve it, it will become 60 gram. So 60 gram of ethane reacts with 2 to 4 gram of oxygen. 2 to 4 gram of oxygen at STP. So 1.5 gram will react with, suppose, x gram. So cross multiplied, 60x is equal to 2 to 4 multiplied by 1.5, and x is equal to 2 to 4 into 1.5 upon 60. It becomes 600, and x is come 5.6 gram of oxygen. So this is the first numerical. This is the first numerical. Now I will take second numerical, that is 1.19. Second numerical is 1.19, given in a book unsolved. 1.19. The question says that 0.7 gram of iron combines directly with 0.4 gram of sulfur to form ferrous sulfide. If 2.8 gram of iron are dissolved in dilute HCl and excess of sodium sulfide solution is added, 4.4 gram of FeS are precipitated. So, show that this data prove law of constant composition. Now, how we are going to do is that, first of all, Fe plus S will give you FeS, 0.7 gram is given to you, and 0.4 gram of sulfur is given. Now, let us find the ratio of Fe ratio S, that is 0.7 ratio 0.4, it comes 7:4. In a second part, Fe plus HCl will give you FeCl2 plus H2, it's given you 2.8 gram, and FeCl2 plus sodium sulfide will give you FeS plus NaCl, and FeS is given 4.4 gram. Now the weight of sulfur, we can find the weight of sulfur, that is 4.4 minus 2.8 is equal to 1.6. So the ratio of Fe ratio sulfur will be 2.8 ratio 1.6, that is 28 divided by 16 is 7:4, and therefore the law of definite proportion is restored. So this is your numerical 1.90 unsolved numerical. After this we will move for unsolved numerical 1.21. Numerical 1.21. So pay attention on the board, they are unsolved numericals. 1.21 question says that copper sulfate crystals contain 25.45% copper and 36.07% of water. If the law of constant proportion is true, calculate the weight of copper required to obtain 40 gram of crystalline copper sulfate. Now, so copper sulfate crystal is CuSO4.XH2O. According to the law of definite proportion, weight of copper in copper sulfate is 25.45% is the weight of copper in copper sulfate. If the weight of copper sulfate .XH2O is to be 40 gram, so weight of copper will be 25.45 divided by 100 multiplied by 40, which come equal to 10.18 gram. So this is the answer, that is 10.18 gram. Now the next numerical is again an unsolved, that is 1.22. Numerical 1.22, and what is the question says is aluminum oxide contains 52.90% aluminum and carbon dioxide contains 27.27% carbon. Calculate the percentage of aluminum in aluminum carbide, assuming that the law of reciprocal proportion is true. Now, aluminum is 52.9%. Aluminum oxide, that is Al2O3. Carbon dioxide, carbon is 27.27%. So let oxygen be how much? 100 gram. Now Al2O3 is 47.1 gram of oxygen. In Al2O3, the oxygen is given 47.1 gram of oxygen. If 47.1 gram of O2 combines with 52.9 gram of aluminium, then 1 gram of carbon dioxide, then 1 gram of will be given 52.9 upon 47.1. Therefore, 100 gram of, this is if 47.1 gram of oxygen combines with 52.9 gram of aluminium, then 1 gram of oxygen and therefore 100 gram of oxygen will be 52.9 upon 47.1 multiplied by 100, that is 112.3 gram. Now in carbon dioxide, if 27.27% of carbon combine with 72.73 gram of O2, then 1 gram of oxygen will be 27.27 upon 72.73. That is, so 100 gram, 1 gram of O2 is this much, 100 gram of O2 will be 27.27 upon 72.73 multiplied by 100 is equal to 37.49 gram. Now since oxygen is constant, so aluminium ratio carbon 112.3 ratio 37.49, that comes 3:1, total is 4. So aluminium percentage will be 3 upon 4 multiplied by 100, that is 75%.